There. Good morning. Good morning. So, how is everyone doing this morning? I apologize for the noise outside. The gardeners are mowing the lawn, but I'm grateful for them mowing the lawn because then I don't have to do it. Autumn Bay! Hey, beautiful! Good to see you. Give me a call. It's been so busy. Hi. Natora says, hi, I'm doing good. And you? Good. I'm great. I'm glad you're doing good. Thanks for chatting. It's good to see you. Hey, Eduardo. Yeah, it's a beautiful day. The spring blossoms outside on the trees is covered in beautiful pink blossoms for spring. So it's a great day today. That's good. Good. Thank you, Nanorda. Good to see you on live. Hey, Gal. How are you? Yeah, so today I wanted to talk about something I learned on my journey in Colombia. So feel free to chime in, feel free to ask questions. I love it when you come in and when you ask questions and when you contribute, when you talk about your own experiences. Hey, Gal, how are you? Wow, 0077 0077. Yeah, so today I wanted to talk a little bit about something that I experienced when I was in the jungle in Colombia and doing these kind of meditation things like spending all night out in the jungle or all day. And it was an experience I had where I was like, okay, well, there's something I need to do. So I'm making a decision in my life to have a baby. And this is something that I've put off for a very long time because I love my freedom. Hey, Laxar, how are you? Good to see you. Hey, Dario Graham. And, you know, to me, my life has just been, I love being able to just pick up and travel and go anywhere. And I do that a lot. I can, except for COVID, you know, I mean, I'll pick up and go anywhere in the world and travel. All I need is a plane ticket, basically, and an invite or, you know, an idea, and I'll go, you know, and it's been like that for years. I love it. I love having that freedom. I've designed my whole life around having freedom. Hey, Luxar, nice to see you. Oh, I'm doing great. I'm doing good today. How are you doing? Thanks for the hearts. And, you know, so the way I've designed my life, I mean, I don't have to show up to a job. I work from home. I can take my work anywhere in the world with me. I can work at the hour, you know, during the times I want. I'm very, very busy because I have a lot of projects going on and I am always doing a lot. Like right now, I've got like, not only am I practicing law, I'm writing the book and I'm marketing, and then I have to start, I'm creating business deals and bringing together investors and, you know, creating a platform. I want to create a platform for a women's movement and all of these different stuff, right? So I do a lot of stuff, and I like having that freedom to be able to do stuff. And I recognize that having a baby is, you know, it's a huge commitment and it's going to take a massive amount of time, and I won't be able to just, you know, I mean, there's a part of me that says, you know, I can pick up and put the baby on my back in a backpack and go. But, you know, that commitment to having children is something that it does make you commit to having to be in a place and figure out a lot of stuff and commit to certain types of things that you might not normally, that like for me, I haven't experienced because I had so much responsibility when I was young and as a child that as I got older, I was like, I'll be responsible for myself, but I don't want to have to take on everybody else's stuff. But now that desire really, I've always wanted to have a child. I've always wanted to have a baby. I think that family is really important. And so that's a decision I made, and that's something I'm going to pursue this year. And I'll tell you about it as I go. But one of the things I did on this trip, so one of the things about my trip to Colombia and being out there and doing this was to kind of say, what am I preparing myself for this next year, right? So part of what I'm preparing myself for in this next year is the launch of my memoir And that's going to be like really very private stuff about me becoming very public, going from more of a private person to more of a public person, and having to be in that sphere and in that limelight, which I have to say, I don't necessarily see as a good thing, because, that just opens up your whole life to criticism and scrutiny and all kinds of things. And yet at the same time, I know that what I have to share can help people. So I want to do that in that case. And then another part of my life would be that would be changing would be having a baby, right? And that's a massive, massive change in just sort of freedom and ability and hard work and labor and lack of sleep and all kinds of things, because I actually helped raise my younger siblings. And when my little brother was born, when I was 11, I started taking care of him almost full time. And so because I was homeschooled and I lived at home, I didn't have to go to school, so I could take care of him all day. And so, I knew what it was like to have that kind of responsibility and hard work. And I know how hard it is. And, screaming and teething and diapers and all the rest of that, which is probably why I put it off so long. And also, I think I was hoping that I would find a man that would want to share that with me and do that with me. And, that just hasn't happened yet. And then Nora says, oh, yes. Yeah. And I would still love to have that happen. And I'm very open to having that happen. But at some point, at some age, for us women, we just have to go ahead and do it. Autumn says, you're already an amazing nurturer to many people. You will be an incredible mother. Aw, thank you. Aw, you're so sweet. And you're going to be an incredible mother too. And Norda says, I have 3 lovely siblings. Yes, I have 13 lovely siblings. I have a lot of siblings, but a lot of them are half siblings. So I grew up in a big family. I know what it is to have a lot of kids and raise children. And so I think, like I said, one of the things about me going on this trip to Colombia was to try to prepare my heart for some of these big changes that were happening in my life. Lexar says, I think I'm the only here who is single. Oh, I'm single. I'm single. I'm making this decision to do this on my own. So, yeah. And so part of that also is making sure that I'm in a place, financially, to be able to manage that, and that I will have income coming in, and that I'll be able to take care of myself and the baby, and understanding that there might be times when, maybe I can't work, maybe I'm just too exhausted or too busy or too, all kinds of stuff like that, where maybe I can't, making sure I have a cushion to take care of us. So there's a lot that goes into that when you're thinking about being a single mother. Like I said, I'd rather have a loving husband and father in the picture, but I can't always control when that's going to happen. So part of me I had a really interesting experience when I was in the jungle. Luxara says she has 1 elder brother and sister. Yeah, I have 6 older siblings. I have 2 younger ones from my mother, who I helped to care for and raise. And then my father has 4 more with a 3rd wife. So I've got a lot. She says, you're not the only one who's single. Yes, I know. So many of us, there's so many beautiful, wonderful women who are single and who are, who I think do want to have a conscious, well-adjusted man in their life. But that maybe hasn't happened for us yet. And I still have great hope for the future. She says, but I take care of my niece and nephews very well, so I know the hard work of being a mother. Yes, exactly. So for many of us, we have taken care of a lot of children in our lives, whether it's our younger siblings or nieces or nephews, and we understand what it is to have that kind of responsibility already. And so for me, that was probably one reason I didn't, like a lot of my older siblings, also because of the religious group we were in, they started having kids when they were still teenagers. So their children are now, they were 15, 16, 17, 18 years old when they were having kids. and their kids are now basically college age, and a few of them are starting to have their own kids and getting married, which is kind of crazy. And here I am just getting ready to have my first, possibly my only. But we take different paths in life. I left the religious group and I went to college, and I became a lawyer. I went to higher education, and my older siblings didn't. They didn't even finish school. So, we just took a very different path, and now they are more free to pursue their life, and I'm about to jump into this different phase of life. She says, I have 2 sisters and 1 brother. I enjoy taking care of them, but it's a lot of work. I don't know why I want 6 kids one day, but they grow so fast. Wow, Nenora, you want 6 kids. Goodness. Well, the good thing about having a lot of kids, I will say, is that if you train them well, then they take care of each other. They start taking care of each other, and that helps. But unless you have a community, it can be really, really difficult. So that's another thing. I'm going to talk to you about that. I have an idea for a community for parents that will help us to be able to do this in a more efficient way. So Norda says, okay, yes. So one of the things that happened to me is I was, as I was in the jungle, I was in this meditation, and, there was a group of us sitting in this, around the fire, and in this kind of, they call it a maloka, it's outdoor open air, right? But, they're sitting in the fire and meditating and everything. And, to me, it was like, there was a part of me, like this kind of wild animal kind of nature of me that I kept looking outside. I was looking at the trees. I was so drawn to be outside and to be in nature, and to kind of not like in the circle, right, with everybody else and around the fire, and the fire's smoking, and people are doing their thing and whatever it is. And I'm like, there was a part of me that just kept feeling so drawn to be, I would keep getting up and leaving the circle and walking around outside and walking around through the outskirts of the jungle and stuff. And there's I recognized, I was like, there's a piece of me that is kind of this wild animal nature, right? Like a big cat, maybe like a panther, or a fox, or a jaguar, or something, right? Like a big cat kind of nature, where I like kind of being alone. I like the exploring. I like the danger. I like going out and doing that stuff, and sometimes being in the pack. And everybody crowded together and around that fire, and all the smoke and the smells and, the noise and the snoring or whatever it is, kind of like, I just like, I don't know, I want to be out in the fresh air and away from all this. And it was an interesting realization for me to say, that if that is my nature, and to be able to accept it, because sometimes I felt bad that I'm not more, there's a part of me that loves to come together. I love to have a few really deep, close friends. And, I love to go to events and parties and stuff like that. But there's another part of me that really needs that alone time. And, to go out alone in nature, and not to really be, I need that time for myself, away from other people and other people's input, just to think and to pray and to meditate and to refill. And, it's that. I also loved that adventure and danger and travel and, zip lining and rappelling and mountain climbing and, this whole side of me. And to kind of just accept that as, okay, that's me, and that's okay. I don't have to be I recognized in that moment that there was a little part of me that felt bad. There was a part of me that felt like maybe there was something a little bit wrong with me, because I wasn't someone who, there was another girl on this trip who I love. She's adorable. Her name is Nicole. She's this super dynamic yoga teacher, really fit, gorgeous, just amazing woman. And she's this fabulous connector, right? Everywhere she goes, she's creating community and connections, and she's built this yoga studio, and she goes out and teaches it to huge groups of people in the park. And, she's she's constantly connecting. She loves it. She's on her phone connecting. She's doing Facebook Live. She's doing all this connecting stuff, right? And, for me, if you've been watching this, you know that I had to literally make a commitment and say, absolutely, I'm going to do this, to come on live every day and like show up, right? Because I don't actually really like, that's not my nature to be like on camera and on TV and showing up like this. But I had to make a commitment to do this, to teach myself to get comfortable doing this, right? So I really admire Nicole for her just sort of her natural love of that stuff, right? Hey, Norton, that's amazing. Thank you. Hey, Rafi, good to see you, my man. It's been so long. So, there was a part of me that felt bad that I wasn't maybe naturally that way, that maybe there was something wrong with me, that I wasn't this, like, I didn't just love being in big groups and, being all super connected all the time, and that I like to kind of go off and be on my own and go away in nature and, just disconnect and have this space where I could think and create. And so this experience in the jungle, where I just kind of saw and felt myself like this wild animal, like this cat, and I was just like, oh wow, yeah, I just want to, like, that's really where I feel like good and comfortable, Luxar says, I like that you stick with your words. Thank you. Hi, Gabriel, good to see you. And so, yeah, sticking to my commitment, right? And I did go live, even though those days we don't have videos posted, but I'm going to post a cool one from Bogota that I downloaded of one of the days I went live in the city. So I'll post that. Okay. And so I remember sitting there, and I came back into the circle, and I sat there, and I'm like facing the fire, and there's a part of me that is making this decision, right? It's like sometimes you just have to, you get to this place where, like, I have to make a decision, right? And I was sitting there by the fire, and it was like, just my nature was like, I kept like looking outside into the jungle, and then I'd be like, fire, jungle, and I heard this voice in my head saying, wild or pack, choose. And I realized that was the decision that I had to make. There was a piece of me that had to, in order to have a baby, in order to do this, there was a decision I had to make. And that was also something I had to release and let go of, right? And I realized, wow, okay, in this one way, I am more like a wild animal. I like being more on my own and out and doing and having all that freedom. But in order to have a baby, I need to be able to be more settled and more, pack, right? I need to create that community to help support me, especially if I'm doing it alone. And so it was that decision, wild or pack. And I had to, so when I was sitting there, I was like, okay, well, I know I have to make that decision for pack. It's a kind of a bit against my nature, but that's what I have to do to have a baby. And as I was making that decision, it was, I kept kind of like being, okay, like this part of me like, I want to go outside. And part of me was like, no, I have to be here. This is where I have to be right now. And I remember I was actually crying, when I made that decision. I was crying because I recognized how important my freedom is to me, and how much I love that freedom to just be able to get up and just go like I do, like I could just pick up, the only things, I don't even have a pet because it tie me down too much. I've got some plans. And, to let go of that freedom and to recognize I'm consciously doing that in order to have this other thing, love and family and connection, right? And that is a real choice, and not to just be, I don't want to be torn in that moment, when I am with the kid and stuff like that, to not be, I don't want to be trying to make that decision then, right? So Luxar says, we are always with you, dear. You aren't alone. Oh, thank you. That's so sweet. And I'm with you too. Yeah, so that was an interesting experience. And there's a part of me that understands that, it's a phase in life, right? Like I've had so many amazing phases in my life, just done so many cool things and had the opportunities to do so many amazing things. And I recognize, okay, having a baby, this is going to mean me like settling down and having to do this and be in this place and really, be focused and be tied to something. I'm not going to have that freedom that I had, but it's not forever, right? That time period is maybe for 10 years, right? Where that kid is growing up. And after that, sure, we're going traveling, but there's lots of stuff that you can do to make it better and to still treat yourself, right? That was another thing I got in that moment, was to make sure that even as a mother, I still continue to do things that allow my kind of wild nature, not like party girl, but this kind of loving to be out and to explore and to do new things and try new things and have new experiences. I need to make sure I nurture that as well, even as a mother, that I take a little bit of time for that for myself. And that was a realization I had, whether that's like saying, okay, I'm going to go zip lining, or I'm going to go up in an air balloon, or, do some mountain climbing, to still do those things for myself so that I don't feel too restricted, even in my life and my role as a mother. So Namorta says, yes, of course. And you love to go out. Yes. Yeah, I do love to go out. I do love to go out. I love to meet people. And I love to do, I love to have experiences. I love to try new things. That's always kind of been my thing, to just experience life. And, so to continue to do that, even as a mother, even if I can't be, just, I can't necessarily just jump on a plane to Paris, at a whim. It's not going to be easy to go out, and that won't be happening as much, Namorta says. Will happen less and her life will look different. Yes, 100%. And really fully recognizing that and accepting it is what I was doing. Instead of trying to pretend that that life could kind of be the same, knowing that that's not true and really accepting that, but at the same point, accepting and understanding my true nature, and saying, you know what, I'm going to still honor my nature. I'm going to honor who I am by continuing to take time for those things, or create and make those opportunities happen for myself anyway. So anyway, that was one of the experiences I had in Colombia, and kind of the realizations that I came to. So I wanted to share that with you. And thank you so much, Namorta and Flixar and Jose and Rafi and everybody for coming on and talking. No need to say sorry. Yes. So beautiful to see you all. I'm so glad you're interacting, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful, wonderful day and an inspiring day. Okay. Thank you, lovely ladies, and all you guys, everyone who's coming on. I will see you tomorrow. Bye. And remember, Wilder Pack, it's okay, whoever you are, honor yourself and your true nature. Says, you're welcome. Autumn says, so excited for you. Yes. All right. I'll tell you more about the process as we go along. Okay. Have a great day. Bye.